All right, everyone. We will get started now. First, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this presentation on self-care and work-life balance. My name is Elisa, and I'm a graduate associate at the Office of Career Development. And this is an area that I have been studying in my master's program, and I'm excited to share some of that information with you guys today. With that said, we need to talk about the importance of self-care. We are all wearing many different hats. We are students, we are workers, caretakers, partners, and a lot of responsibility and demands come from those roles. Particularly this past year, many of us might have also experienced changes, working from home, possible job loss, financial pressures, moving back home, and adjusting to different ways of learning. With these major changes, we are all at higher risk of compromising our well-being. First, I want to define what self-care is and keep in mind that there are various definitions. Self-care is any activity that we do deliberately in order to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health. Also, I want to focus on the deliberately portion because it is not enough to just think about it as, oh, I take a shower every day for self-care. So after a long, busy day of work and other activities, it is now 9 p.m. and you tell yourself, ugh, I still need to shower. And we have all done this before. That shower just became another dreaded task on your to-do list. However, self-care is not something that we force ourselves to do or we do not enjoy doing. It should be something that refuels us rather than taking from us. It is important that we are making a conscious choice of whatever we want that self-care activity to be, and this might come over time. So I found this quote that I like, which said, an empty lantern provides no light. Self-care is the fuel that allows your light to shine brightly. There are many myths surrounding self-care, such as it's selfish, it takes too much time, and most importantly, that it is optional. However, taking time for yourself means that you are simply being mindful of your own needs so you are better able to support others. It allows us to be more productive and efficient in our lives. In today's society, it is something difficult to recognize, what those symptoms of stress are that warn us when we need to take time for ourselves because we are feeling overworked and becoming overwhelmed with our tasks. So I wanted to look at this chart really quick. And this is just a quick signs of stress, and it breaks it down by physical, emotional, behavioral, and it can be anywhere from headaches, anger, feeling irritability, nail biting. All of those things are signs of symptoms, and accumulated, they can lead to more long-term consequences of stress. So everyone experiences stress differently, but it is important to be able to recognize the signs and be aware of our own bodies. If we do not attend to our stress, like I said, it can lead to those consequences. So let's talk about the benefits of self-care. So one of the things is that it leads to better productivity. So when you start making time for yourself and the things that matter most to you, you start focusing on those goals and concentrate better on the task at hand. You also improve your physical health. Self-care allows the body to energize as well as improve the immune system. This means that you will get fewer cases of the cold, the flu, and upset stomachs. Overall, you will feel better. It will also enhance your self-esteem. When you take time to meet your own needs, you start treating yourself like you matter, which increases your self-esteem. It also increases your self-knowledge. Practicing self-care, you need to think about what you love to do. This helps you feel more passionate, more inspired, and helps you understand yourself better. And lastly, you have more to give because by taking care of yourself, you are better able to give to others. So this leads us to the areas of self-care, which include physical, psychological, and emotional, spiritual, social, professional, and overall self-care. And we will go into more detail in the following slides. So some physical forms of self-care can include things such as eating a regular breakfast or eating healthy. I think most of us have previously heard the phrase, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And so are all our meals and snacks. This is an area that I have personally found interesting and been doing more research on. And there is a strong connection between our gut health and the mind, which a lot of people are not aware of. For example, eating lots of sugars and processed foods can worsen depression. So it's important to, be mindful of what we're putting in our bodies because it can affect our mental health and our well-being. Other forms of self-care that are physical, it's taking time off when we're sick so we can have the time to recover. Also wearing clothes that you like and clothes that make you feel comfortable and confident. Just because you might be working from home, that doesn't mean that you have to stay in your pajamas all day. If you feel better wearing a dress or a dress shirt, go for it. And another one is also exercising. And I know when that word comes to mind, some people might be thinking, ugh. And you don't have to go for a run or, hit the weights at the gym. Things such as taking a walk by yourself, or maybe if you have a pet, dancing to your favorite song, going on a bike ride. There's many different types of exercise that can be fun. You can get a massage. You can do fun activities such as hiking, fishing, or creating art. Getting enough sleep. And not only is it important to get enough sleep, but having a balanced sleeping habit is important for your body to feel well rested. So get enough sleep, but also do not oversleep because this can cause you to feel more exhausted and in return, less productive. It is possible that many of us might have been feeling unmotivated or bored at home. Find things that you can do other than lay in bed and sleep. Take vacations if you can, or if you can right now, then, some weekend getaways, some locations that, you have been wanting to check out for a while. And another very important one is getting regular medical care. And, especially with what's going on, making sure that we are taking those precautions if we're going outside or if we need to be in public places. So now we will get into psychological ways of self-care. This can include saying no to extra responsibilities. So for example, if a friend asks you to hang out, but it has been a long day and you are exhausted, do not be afraid to tell them no. Be okay with leaving work at work. Not doing so will only cause more stress and can affect other areas of your personal life because your mind will be elsewhere. And read something unrelated to work. You can make time for self-reflection. So set a phone reminder. You can schedule a few times out of your day to self-reflect on how your day has been so far. And doing this will help you to become more aware and make changes in your routine if needed. Make time away from technology and internet. Lately, the news and social media have been flooded with information that can be very overwhelming and that can lead us to feeling more stressed or anxious. So try to limit the time that you spend looking at all that negativity. Notice your thoughts, your beliefs, your attitudes, your feelings, and do something at which you are not an expert. This is your time to do things that you might have been wanting to try for a while, whether that is cooking a certain dish or practicing a new language. This will allow you to get out of your comfort zone. And if it's something that you've been wanting to try for a while, you will feel accomplished and after completing it. Now we will move on to emotional self-care. And this can include spending time with the people whose company you enjoy. If you can spend time with them, especially certain family or friends, you can call them or video chat with them or send them a card. Give yourself affirmation and praise. This might seem silly at first, but it will give you a boost of confidence that will help you throughout the day. Allow yourself to cry. We have gone through some difficult events these past months, and it is okay to feel the way that you are feeling. And if that is sad or hurt in any way, allow yourself to cry. Do not be hard on yourself. Letting it out allows us to feel much better than holding those feelings in. And identify and seek out comforting activities and places. So the next area is spiritual. Be aware of non-material aspects of life. This can be anywhere from your own beliefs, your values, that you are living your life by, your morals, or certain organizations that you abide by. Having a good idea of these aspects of your life and how this incorporates into your self-care. Try at times not to be in charge or the expert. Sometimes this can be hard for us, especially if we strive for perfection. And it's important to think about how we can let go of this sense of perfectionism and acknowledge that sometimes it's okay not to be in charge or know everything that is going on. And this can be in your personal life or your professional life. Read or listen to something inspirational. Maybe right now, some of us are struggling to find some motivation. So finding a book or a podcast, or maybe creating a song playlist can lift you up. Spend some time in nature. Right now, during the winter, this might be taking a walk, skiing, ice skating, having a snowball fight. And if it's just too cold, try to spend some time by a window where you can get some direct sunlight, which is a good source of vitamin D. You can also meditate or practice mindfulness, which this is proven to be helpful for self-care. And there are definitely some apps out there available on iPhone and Android, such as Headspace is one that I know and I have used before. And you can even search on YouTube for guided meditation videos. Lastly, have experiences of awe. This is something that many of us struggle to do because we are constantly on the go. Take time in the moment to stop and look around and see what is going on and admire the beauty of life. Sometimes we are stuck thinking about things that happened in the past or constantly thinking about things we have coming up in the next days, weeks, or months. So find time in your day to be grounded. Next, we have social aspects of self-care. So this was kind of, mentioned earlier, but calling, checking on, or seeing friends and relatives. It might not be possible to do so in person, but like it was said, using Zoom or Skype or FaceTime, we can still stay connected to people. Allow others to do things for you. This can be challenging for many of us, especially in the workplace. Maybe you will have or have had a coworker or classmate who has asked you if you need help doing something. And we sometimes have this mentality that we must be independent and do it ourselves. But allow yourselves to take that offer and that help if they're the ones who are offering it. There's nothing wrong with it. Similarly, be okay with asking for help when you need it. This can also be very difficult to do because it is hard to admit that we might be struggling, but it is important to advocate for yourself. Lastly, make time to be with your partners or friends or families. Think about the people who you want to spend time with, especially in our busy lives. Sometimes we need to be selective of people who we want to spend time with and choose people that make us feel good. Research shows that the people you decide to spend the most time with are going to influence your mental health and other areas of your life. And last, we have professional self-care. So take time to chat with coworkers. Engage in casual conversations outside of work material. Sometimes we might get caught up about tasks or deadlines, but it is also good to take some time to ask them about their day and build that connection, especially those working full-time who are spending a good amount around each other. Balance your workload so that nothing is way too much. It is important that the work you have is challenging enough, but make sure that it is also manageable. If you see yourself struggling to complete a task on time or a supervisor is giving you too much to do, advocate for yourself by asking for help to be able to balance your workload. Arrange workspace to be comfortable, especially right now, as many of us might be working from home. This means being able to develop a home office. Maybe you do not have a separate room for that, but being able to create a space that can be designated for work only will help to distinguish between when it's work time and when it's your personal life. Being able to take a break during the day, be able to acknowledge when you need a break, especially if working from home, it can be exhausting having to sit for hours and stare at a screen for that long, especially if you are working full time. Recognize when you need to take a break from work and take a few minutes to get some fresh air or get some water and stretch. Whatever you need to do to feel energized again. If your work is flexible, try to see when you are least productive around the day and try to schedule work around that. For example, if you're not a morning person and it is better to start around noon and work until later, you can do that. Identify rewarding tasks. So what makes you feel accomplished in the workplace? Doing this will help you feel more motivated, so try to identify a few. And lastly, have a peer support group. Identify who are those people you can go to if you're struggling with self-care in the work setting. This can be your supervisor if you feel comfortable, or it can be a coworker as well. Make sure you have that person or people identified so if the time comes when you need them, you already know who to go to. And the last piece is overall self-care. And this is taking that holistic look and approach and balancing all of the different areas of self-care that we have discussed. So this would be balancing within work life and work day, balance among family, friends, and relationships, balancing between play and rest, balancing between work and your personal time, and balancing and looking forward for things, but also acknowledging the moment, the here and now. So after looking at all the different areas, that's great. How do we make the time for all of these areas of self-care? Maybe one of them is taking more priority over the other one, and is obtaining balance even possible right now? So here are a few things that you can do to make it possible. First is starting where you are and making your baseline. So make sure that you are not comparing yourselves to others. It might be great that someone you know can maintain a balance between everything that's going on right now. But now it's time to look at yourself and start with where you are right now, because that looks different for everyone. Choose one thing to focus on and make it your goal. This might be a specific area that we discussed or a specific activity. For example, you could be wanting to relieve some stress. Now, this looks different for everyone, but maybe you know that the best way that you relieve stress is by working out. Make sure your goals are small, specific, and realistic. So if we take the example from above of working out, this might mean you want to walk every Monday after work for 20 minutes. The more specific the goal is, the better the outcome you will have. Because research has shown that when you make goals small and specific, you are more likely to obtain those goals. Schedule self-care into your daily routine. This will help to distinguish this time for you time. This could be including meditation. So in the morning, right when you wake up, maybe you look up a meditation video on YouTube. This is a way that you can incorporate self-care into something that you already do. And lastly, check in with yourself. Take some time for self-reflection. After you do a specific thing, think about how you feel and what you are getting out of it. And you want to make sure that whatever it is you are doing, that you feel good and happy about. So you might try meditation and maybe that is not for you, and that is okay. It is good to be able to recognize this so you can try something different and find whatever works best for you. Now let's discuss how to balance your professional and personal life. So trust your intuition. Be able to listen to yourself when you know that something is going on in your body or in your mind. Get your budget in order. This will help to create organization and ease financial stress. Give your morning routine a makeover. So there are a few different ways that you can do this. You can even start the night before by making a to-do list of the things you want to accomplish in the morning. You can pre-make breakfast or lunch. That way you don't have to worry about it in the morning or during lunchtime, especially if you have a limited amount. If the first thing you do in the morning is grab your phone, you can try avoiding phone distractions. 5 minutes in Instagram can turn into hours. So try to put that aside. You can try to write positive things in a journal and even take 15 to 20 minutes to meditate, do yoga, or listen to your favorite podcast. Feel your feelings. Let yourself truly rest. And that's something that we had discussed earlier, making sure that we are getting enough rest, but that we are not oversleeping. And schedule one thing you look forward to. This will give you motivation throughout the week, especially if you put it on your calendar and you can visibly see it. You can set boundaries. This was mentioned before, but again, it is being able to say no to things that you simply do not have the time or energy for. Maximizing your alone time. This might be more applicable to those working in settings where they are surrounded by a lot of people or having to constantly talk to people. So being able to set some time aside for yourself is important. Track your time. Create a schedule that works for you so you can stick to it. It can feel like sometimes our work blends in with our personal life because we might still be checking our emails the rest of the day. It is important that you can schedule a work time, whether that is 9 to 5, and what is not work time, then you do not check those emails anymore. Track that time. Once it's 5, work is done, and now it's time for other things in your personal life. Ask for support when you need it. Create more stability. Focus on your basic needs. This is as simple as, have I had lunch yet? Have I been staying hydrated? Am I comfortable? Maybe I've been sitting here for a few hours and I need to get up and stretch. And then lastly, set your priorities. So I want to talk about some golden rules for balancing your professional and personal life. So get comfortable with putting yourself first. As we have discussed, work is important and so are other people in our life, but so are you. If you are overworked and not feeling energized, you cannot be effective at work or efficient, and you cannot help others. Unplug in the moment. Be able to take mini breaks. This is especially important right now. Many of you might be working from home, which can be exhausting. If you have been sitting for hours in front of the computer, step outside and get some fresh air. Get up and stretch for a bit. Enjoy a nice cup of coffee or tea. Embrace an integration mindset. And creating this mindset allows you to incorporate work in your personal life while trying to find the balance between everything. And self-care should be simple and healthy rituals that keep your body and mind energized. Last thing I want to cover is about positive affirmations. And I think this is a great thing that we can do for self-care because we can all do it and it takes a few seconds in our day. So positive affirmations are statements that are repeated to encourage and uplift the person speaking them. Positive affirmations can be effective in helping you transform how you see and think of yourself. You want to make sure that you're using positive language whenever you're doing positive affirmations. This is crucial. So beginning with I am instead of I am not. And repetition is key. By practicing saying them regularly, you build a positive mental habit and mindset. So this helps you gain a more positive outlook on life. And it helps to build confidence, self-esteem, and better self-care. So an example of this would be in the workplace would be, I learn from my mistakes. This will key into your brain that it is okay if you make a mistake because it is something that you will learn from instead of seeing it as a failure, which many of us tend to do. Another example can be, I further my career with every task I complete. And telling yourself this can boost your confidence again and your self-esteem, especially if you're not feeling motivated right now. So down here below, there is a link where you can learn more about what positive affirmations are and how you can set them. And lastly, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Later today, there will be an email sent to you with today's recording, as well as some self-care tip worksheets, and then this self-care assessment worksheet that you can do on your own time if you're interested. And basically, it's you can use this for self-reflection and kind of assessing what parts of your life, what parts of your self-care, how are you doing with your physical self-care? How are you doing with your emotional self-care? So you will be rating from 1 to 3. Am I eating healthy foods? Am I taking care of personal hygiene? Am I exercising? Am I getting enough sleep? Do I rest when I'm sick? And you will rate, like I said, you will rate this from 1 to 3, with 1 being I do this poorly and 3 being I do this well. And you can really get an idea of what are the things that, I'm really working on with self-care and which ones am I not. And that's where the star will come in. So after you have rated all of the different categories, like I said, there's 5, you will put a star next to the ones that you would like to improve on. And this will be a great start for you to, start looking at what can I do for self-care? What out of this list seems like something that I would enjoy? So that is all that I have for you today. On the slides, we have the services that we offer. Just a reminder that we are meeting with students through phone or Zoom appointments. You can contact us to set an appointment through the number or the email below. But you can see here, we do resume and cover letter reviews, career assessment, connecting with employers, graduate school. So a few different services that we offer if you're interested in checking them out. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to put them in the chat. I also wanted to just quickly mention some events that are coming up on February 23rd. We have an employer panel for job searching cross country. So if you're interested in relocating or finding a job in a different state, this might be a good one to check out. As well as on April 8th, we will have the virtual career fair, which we're in the process of recruiting employers. And for both of these, more details are going to be sent out at a later time. So like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. Again, I want to just thank everyone for attending and taking time out of your time to look at this presentation. And so if there's no questions at this time, we will end here. Again, thank you everyone so much. And I hope you have a wonderful day.